Good morning. This is Steve, and welcome back to our sustainable journey. Today, somebody following me. All right, today we are going to be talking eggs because we're producing enough eggs, and the chickens are producing enough eggs now that we're not able to eat them all. Try as I might. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that's a lot of eggs. And we've made a lot of egg dishes in the last couple of weeks. But in the last month, the count has been 277 eggs. And that's just simply too many for us to eat. So what we did was we registered with the Department of Ag so that we could sell some of our excess eggs and let others enjoy these free-range chickens. And so I'm going to kind of walk you through what that process looked like and how we went about it. First, we're going to go head into the coop, check on the ladies, see how they're doing. See, it's about 9:15 right now. They usually lay most of their eggs between 8 and 10, so hopefully we'll have some eggs so I can show you what that looks like. Can actually hear them singing the egg laying song. Alright, let's take a look at what we got. See if we have lunch or breakfast. Oh, that was very sweet of them. Oh, they made me a hot pocket. That's great. But great chickens. So we've got a couple of brown eggs. We'll come over here to this side. Let's see, we've got some white eggs. All right. Is that all of them, ladies? All right. Let's head inside. All right, we will head inside and do the next part of this whole process. So our chickens are considered free range. Free range means that they have a built shelter that is non-mobile, but they are free to forage as they will. So we actually moved their fence the other day so they could take out some of the weeds that are over there, and they're doing a great job because they've already knocked away about a foot of the weeds. So that's what free range means in the state of Illinois. I don't know, every state might be different, but that's what it means here. You also have cage free. They're also cage free. You also have pasture raised. So if you've seen the Joel Salatin style tractors, as they're called, they're basically like mobile coops that you scooch around a field. That's considered pasture raised. Or if you have any sort of mobile coop, that's pasture raised. Organic, that's a certification that you get that you have to pay extra for, and you have to have organic everything. Like the paint on your coop has to be a certain type, and their feed and everything you do has to be organic. It's kind of been overblown the last few years. A lot of people don't even do it anymore. I think there's only about 2 in the state of Illinois that are actually organic, or certified organic rather. But the majority of eggs are all natural anyway. So we are back at the house, and I'll show you step 2. Okay, the first thing that we do is we candle all the eggs to make sure that there are no cracks or impurities or funk about them. before we move on to the next stage. And so when you're candling an egg, what you're looking for, I can actually show you some that failed. This one has a pretty obvious crack in it. And so these are the ones from the last couple of days. Little cracks. I don't know if that one's got a big crack. And so what we'll do is we'll actually scramble those up with the shells and feed it back to the chickens. It's kind of like recycling, because it's good for them to get the calcium from the shells, and they really like the eggs. And you scramble them so that it doesn't resemble anything like an egg, because you don't want them pecking at their own eggs, because that would cause more cracks. Of course, it would give them more feed, but that's not ideal. So we'll candle them, and I'll kind of show you that next. This is our candler. It's just basically a flashlight with a soft tip, so that you can hold the egg up against it. So I will show you that. I'll show you what that looks like. So you are going to hold the egg up to it and kind of look and make sure that there are no impurities or any issues with it. Hopefully this is showing up in the camera. It's kind of a bright day. The next thing you're looking for is the air sac. So one way to tell how fresh an egg is by the air sac. That's how they grade them. So the smaller the air sac, the higher the grade. So there's AA, A, B, and nobody sells anything below a B, because that just is an unfresh egg. And the smaller the air sac, the higher the grade, right? So that means that these eggs that were laid within the last hour have next to zero air sac, and so they're graded AA. You can actually grade them lower, so we grade them as A, in case we don't get to them immediately. But that's a choice you can make. You can grade them as AA, and that's fine. That they are AA eggs. We just choose to grade them as A because it's easier. So we'll candle the rest of these, and then we'll move on to weighing them. And so when candling your Hot Pocket, you want to make sure that you can see all of the meats and cheeses inside, and that it's ready for consumption. So this one looks good. When looking at these, you can see that there are no cracks. And if you look, well, you're probably not going to show up, but there's an air bubble, a very tiny, tiny, tiny air bubble. Let's see if I can find one with an air bubble that's easier to see. Of course not. Yeah, it's just really hard to see. So, but so you'll compare the air bubble and make sure that it's fits in that grade. All right, next up, we weigh them. So we use this handy dandy little scale. You can actually do it by weight. There's ways to tell based on how many ounces it is, what the weight of the egg is, and then we separate them by size. So we've got a medium. These are probably all mediums. That one's a large. The rest of these should be medium. Our birds haven't gotten, it's only been a month, so they're not producing large eggs yet. So medium and medium. This is gonna be a small. Yeah. So there's actually another size down here called peewee, which is basically your pullet eggs. These are the new layers lay much smaller eggs than what we're used to. So let's see. So medium. That's pointing. These are all mediums. Yeah. That should be a large. Yeah. Sometimes you get a chicken that lays a behemoth egg. Every single one of these that we've cracked open has had double yolks, which is kind of cool. You can see it actually bottoms out the scale. So we don't usually sell these because we only get like one a day. But so there's one chicken out there who's doing a great job. Oh yeah. Okay, so now that we have them sorted by size, we clean them. So there's very specific cleaner that you have to use. So we use this egg wash powder. And so you need your water to be at 90 degrees, and then you need to rinse them off in 100-degree water. I'm not going to show you that. But essentially you're scrubbing the eggs gently to remove any impurities or poop or whatever else from the nest boxes that may have gotten on the eggs. And then from there, we can package them up. So your standard egg cartons with our information on there. And I like these cartons because if nobody buys the eggs, we can use them with the worms. And so you have to put very specific information on the carton itself, your grade, your size, the farm name, the farm address, your license number, and a contact number, which I don't think you need to put a contact number on there. We do, because it's all local anyway. And then the sell-by date. So the sell-by date, which is kind of fun, is based on Julian calendar. If you don't know what a Julian calendar is, it's basically January 1st is 1, the 2nd is 2, the 3rd is 3, and so like February 1st is going to be 32, and it's just going to continue on the year all the way up to 365, right? And so you put the Julian calendar number on the side, and then 30 days later is your sell-by date in most instances. In some instances, you can put 45 days later, which is what Walmart does, because they want their eggs to have a longer shelf life. Now, it's not necessarily accurate that freshness is 45 days out from when it's packaged, but that's just what Walmart does, so don't buy your eggs at Walmart. But look at that Julian date. That Julian date will tell you what date it was put into that carton. So that's important. And then 30 days out from that, or 45 days, depending on the supplier, is your sell-by date. And that's when their freshness is guaranteed. They're still edible after that date, but that's what that means on the side of the egg cartons. And so that's what we have to do, is do all kinds of math. So we've got calendars and stuff to figure out what the Julian calendar dates are and what to put on each carton. And then once we get a full carton, we put them out in the fridge for our customers for sale. So some things to consider with the egg wash is we don't get to choose. It has to be approved by the Department of Ag, so we can't just be like, no, we're using soap and water or something like that. We have to use the approved egg wash, which kind of is killer because it's basically like a powdered bleach substance. So that's less than ideal. Okay, so out in our little fridge out here, we have some eggs that we did up the other day. I am trying to find... There we go. So there's your Julian date, sell-by date. So 241, so these were done 2 days ago, I believe. And so we package them up and we put them in here until they are, people can just come in, grab a dozen eggs. We got a little cash box for them. And then they've got fresh eggs that were laid like 2 days prior, which is kind of awesome. And they know, and they can see the chickens from here. You can actually see the chickens in their coop. I don't know if you can see them.
about there.
So they know that they're being taken care of and they're getting the freshest possible food ever, which is kind of awesome. Check this out. So I'm in the north garden, just grabbing some tomatoes. I happen upon this lady just chilling. Well, I assume lady because she still has her head, but just chilling in the tomato plants. Eating, killing, whatever. Pretty cool. As you can see, right here. I don't really want to pick her up. Just let her go. Nature is cool.